What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV back here for another update for you guys. And I'm going to tell you now, before the update's even done, we're no closer to getting that centre back we desperately need.
Spoilers, then. Spoilers.
But we are going to start off with talking about Ashley Phillips, as Alan Nixon says that Tottenham are waiting to see if Blackburn find another buyer for Ashley Phillips. But the cutoff is Friday when the 2 million escape clause in Phillips' contract kicks in. So that is what we're waiting for. So basically, it doesn't matter if we value him or not. We're just going to roll the dice. If someone else takes him, completely fair enough. You've beat us to it. But if it gets to Friday, then we'll get him for 2 million.
Exactly. You want that sweet little 2 million release thing. That's what we're looking for. We're not looking to pay anything more than that, especially for an 18-year-old. This makes complete sense now. Doesn't look like Spurs really, truly wanted this guy, in terms of they've scouted him and they've we believe this guy's going to be a really good centre back in the future. They're just like, look, he has potential. If he's available for 2 million, we'll get him. If not, hey ho, that's it. We're not going to pay anything more than that, which I don't really care about. It's just why even try and what's the sense in trying to get a deal early? I guess trying to get money. So the only way to do that is to try and get money off, you would think, unless they're trying to beat the competition, so they're willing to pay a bit more. And now Blackburn are saying, actually, we're going to charge 9 million, even though he's got a 2 million release clause. And so we're saying no, which I guess kind of makes sense when you think about it. But look, I guess from Spurs' point of view, we've only got a week to wait. We'll see what happens. But if we get gazumped, then it's our loss.
Yeah. This is the way Tottenham do business. This is probably Tottenham's way of saying that we desperately want him. We're going to put 2 million on the table for you, but no more than 2 million.
I guess so. Basically, we were prepared to pay that 3 million, so we're prepared to pay a fee of 1 million on top of that release clause, just to prevent other clubs signing him early, I guess. But it looks like that's not going to happen, so we're going to wait.
Yeah, and to be honest, I'm not totally fussed because I've never really heard of this guy before we were linked with him, but it just follows on the theme of the transfer window of bringing in centre backs and anything like that. It's just so frustrating.
Well, I would say it's a bit silly from Blackburn if that's what they've done. Because how much are they intending to get in this next week doesn't really make much sense.
They wanted 10 million, including bonus add-ons from us, didn't
they? So, but if Tottenham are prepared to give them a little extra money to just to seal the signing early, and they're saying no, we want 9 million, including add-ons now, I think Tottenham were probably right to turn away from that. Makes sense.
I haven't really heard of any other clubs really in for him either, to be honest. So I guess
it seems a bit silly from Blackburn when you think about it.
Well, it'll be another one that's been levied at the end of the day, and that'll be Blackburn this time. But let's move on talking about Tosin Adarabioyo. We heard the news yesterday that Monaco were closing in on Salisu as their replacement for their outgoing centre-back Disasi, who's moving to Chelsea. And we all thought, or Tottenham Twitter was saying, oh, this means Tosin Adarabioyo is coming to Spurs. It's a done deal now.
Put your bets on.
What?
Put your bets on.
Exactly. And Santi Auna says Monaco and Fulham are close to an agreement for the reported target Tottenham target Tosin Adarabioyo. The two clubs hope to finalise it by the end of next week. So another one bites the dust, eh?
Exactly. Look, nothing's sealed yet, so I wouldn't be too sure that he's definitely going to Monaco. But look, we're not making any moves. If the fee they're talking about is between 8 and 15 million for Tosin. If we were serious about him, this isn't one that would be hanging around for so long. I don't understand why, if we were interested in him, we wouldn't have kind of got this deal wrapped up already. So seems like we're not sure about him, in my opinion.
Who are we sure about?
Yeah, it's a good question. And now Monaco are making moves very quickly. They probably guaranteed him a starting spot. Now they've sold their centre-back and getting Salisu and him. They're like, look, come to Liga. You know, it's a backup role at Tottenham, whereas at Monaco here, you'll be starting week in, week out, and will help you grow as a player. So I think he's probably getting sold on that, to be honest. And look at how Chelsea have done business. I know they're a lot more loose with their funds, but Fofana got injured a week ago, and within a week they've no huffing and puffing, no linking, no we're interested, no nothing. No one even heard that this guy's going to Chelsea, and bam, out of nowhere, a deal agreed. Disasi's going to Chelsea. They've got their replacement. no screwing around. They go with their target, and they got him very, very quickly. And this is a player they've only needed for 1 week. They needed him. They didn't know they needed him a week ago, and now they knew they needed him. So we've needed a centre back for 5 years. I don't like. It's crazy. It's crazy how slow we do business. It's absolutely madness. So that just is more evidence of how incompetent this hierarchy is when going for their targets.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do I have to say it? It happens time and time again, and we're no closer than we were on the first day of the transfer window to getting our centre-back targets in. And, you know, again, it's a carbon copy of last year. Again, we've gone into this window going, oh, this is our priority position. We're willing to spend big on it. Everyone's saying, yeah, we're going to bring in 2-3 centre-backs, 2 top centre-backs. And we're here with 2 weeks left until the season starts. Nothing.
Yeah, the funny thing is, it could be the 30th of July, 2022, and I would still be getting antsy about a new centre back, and it's a year later, and we're still here. It's like, how long am I supposed to wait before I'm allowed to like get a bit angry that we're not got a centre back? You know what I mean? It's absolutely crazy. Centre back was a number 1 position last year that we needed. Like, everyone knew it. Everyone knew how badly we needed a centre back. We waited patiently. We finally got Longley alone. We're like, well, no one was really happy about it, but it was like, whatever. We had some good other signings in other positions, but wasn't really happy about it. Because it's a year. What's it called? Plaster. We'll sign a centre back in a year's time, and now we're still here, 30th July, 2023, and it's still not happening. I don't understand. Just sign a centre back.
The only reason that we were okay with Longley is because they told us, you know what, we'll get Clement Longley as a stopgap just so we can get our top targets next summer. We're still here. We're still waiting. And now we're just Longley down. Now we're just worse off than last season in the centre-back position.
It's just so frustrating. And now the season is 2 weeks away. And now the new signings are going to have to be playing catch-up. If they sign tonight at 12 o'clock, they're still going to be playing catch-up with the rest of the squad. And I doubt they're going to be signing in tonight. They're probably going to be signing in 2 weeks' time. So probably not.
Probably in the last week of the window.
It's just crazy. And that we're putting our season in jeopardy. Like, we continue to start the season without our squad finalized, and then we wonder why, like, a lot of the times, like, we get bad results at the beginning of the season while the squad is getting together, and it's the hierarchy's fault for not getting the planning in place, and it's very, very frustrating.
And this isn't a new thing, right? This was happening under Pochettino. This has been happening all the way through, just trying to get a good deal right until that last second of the window. And more times than not, they don't deliver on the goods. But that's the run over for the centre-back situation. But let's talk about the midfield now, as Gerard Romero says that Barca like Giovanni Lo Celso, and he could end up signing for Barca if either Kessié or Longley are included in the deal. Corriere dello Sport saying that Tottenham's Giovanni Lo Celso is a priority signing for Italian champions Napoli this summer. Lo Celso brings exactly what is needed to Napoli's midfield, and the club connection to Argentina makes the transfer even more desirable. As he threw Kessié in there, I'll give you the next update as well, which is on Franck Kessié, and it says Sport are claiming that Tottenham will decide next week whether they will make an attempt to sign Barcelona midfielder Franck Kessié. I mean, with Lo Celso's kind of like renaissance in pre-season, 2 really good performances, well, albeit 45 minutes apiece, 2 goals. Are you open to letting Lo Celso going to Barcelona?
I am open to it if they give us some decent money, in my opinion. I think that
Longley for Lo Celso.
No, forget Longley. I don't want to see Longley anywhere near that deal. For Longley's no, they'll have to add money to include Longley on that deal. I think that I am open to Lo Celso. Lee, I'm not married to the fact that to want him to stay, even though he's had some good performances. I would take 25 million or so for him if that offer comes, because I just don't trust his ability to stay on the pitch. Even last season, or last 2 seasons really, or whatever, ever since he signed for Spurs, to be honest, he just hasn't been able to stay on the pitch consistently. And I wouldn't want to just risk that, as much as I do believe in him and I do think he's a good player. And if he is sticking around, I'm all for it. And I'm sure that when he does get on the pitch, he'll have some good performances. I would be willing to take the money if it meant we can reinvest it smartly in that position, or other positions as well. But I actually think that his pre-season's probably put more money on his price. So if teams weren't interested in him before preseason at a lower price tag, they were saying between 15 and 20 million, or preseason might well have added about 5 or 10 million onto his price tag. So if they weren't interested before, they were going to be interested at a higher price range. I don't know. I think we might price him out of it as well. I've got a feeling. Unless there is a Kessie involved, then all of a sudden I think there might be something to be done there.
I think someone like a Frank Kessié can really, improve our midfield, give us that base. I mean, he could be a really top player for us in that midfield, and I really believe in his talents. But when you're talking about Giovanni Lo Celso and you're saying that his preseason has added five or so million onto his price tag, I don't believe that's the case. But what I do believe is that maybe that it has convinced teams that they will meet our asking price if it came down to it. So I don't think they're willing to pay more as maybe like more than 25 million, but I think that maybe they will kind of meet what we were asking for more easier now.
Maybe. I don't know. I reckon after pre-season, I don't know, 20 million euros just seems a bit cheap. I reckon that league will see, look how good he is.
Let's be honest, it's 45 minutes against a West Ham team in our first game and 45 minutes against an absolute pub team. So it's like, it's not
but
exactly,
he's a good player. He's not a bad
he is
player.
A good player. He is a good player. But I don't think we've learned more about I don't think we've learned more about Lo Celso than we didn't really know that much before.
Not as a player, but as Ali Gold saying he's, his demeanor's changed a lot around the dressing room. I'm just saying, I don't think the reason why his price has changed is not because he's become a better player. It's because we're not as desperate to lose him potentially as we were before, and we're more open to him staying. I think before the tour, I think the likelihood of him staying just because of him wanting to be here looked really remote. And in that, when a player doesn't want to be there, the price is going to be lower. But if he's happy to stay and the club are happy to keep him, that price is going to go a bit higher.
Yeah, fair enough. Do you see a deal happening from now until the end of the transfer window?
I think a lot of it depends on what we see with Ndombele. I don't see Ndombele and Lo Celso both being here by the end of the window. I do think one of them will leave. It might be a case of we just have more offers for Lo Celso. Maybe that's why he's the one that we allow to leave. But I think a lot, because you got to remember, I was listening to Ali Gold's video, and it was talking about how Ange. The training things on the pitch were definitely indications clearly of who he's looking to start at the moment, and who he considers like the first choice. And as I said, Ndombele was in that first team and in that first training session. So I do think he was intending to start him against West Ham. Now he picked up that injury. We've got to see what the state is once he comes back from injury and tries to get up to speed with the team. Is he going to be someone who Ange turns to, or is it going to be something that doesn't happen? We'll still wait to see that. So I think it's still going to be a waiting game. But then again, if we do get a good offer now, even before Ndombele comes back, I think we do consider it like 25 million. I think it might be too good to turn down. So I don't think we get that offer, basically. So I do think it's just going to wait. I don't know which one's going to be. I've still got a feeling Lo Celso might be the one to leave, to be honest.
I can't see anyone putting money on the table for Ndombele, to be honest, at the moment. The only way I see Ndombele leaving is probably with another loan and an option to buy. I can't see anyone really putting their money where their mouth is with him, whereas Lo Celso, I think it is probably a bit more likely. But in my opinion, I'd prefer Lo Celso to stay than Ndombele. And in terms of the Frank Kessié deal, I only see a deal happening for him if Højbjerg was to leave. And if we could make money plus Højbjerg leaving and making an upgrade on Frank Kessié, that'd be unbelievable business, wouldn't it?
100%. As I said in the video yesterday, I think Højbjerg, I wouldn't take less than 30 unless we do happen to get a deal with Kessié, which is a similar price to what we want to sell Højbjerg. Then I would consider just letting him go for a bit less if it meant we can get the Kessié deal done.
Yeah. Knowing Daniel Levy, he'll probably put the Kessié deal in jeopardy just so he'll get as much as possible for Højbjerg.
Yeah, probably.
But let's talk about Harry Kane. Tomorrow is the day, apparently, where we're going to have this meeting between the Bayern directors and Levy, unless Levy puts it off for another day. But Rob Draper says that Bayern are likely to offer Tottenham around £75 million for Harry Kane, but that will include caveats and clauses only payable if Kane delivers on all fronts, winning the Champions League, Bundesliga, and individual awards. So, I mean, we don't know how much those clauses can be, but if it is regarding potential him winning the Champions League, Bundesliga, and scoring lots of goals, you could imagine that Spurs could get maybe close to that £100 million mark.
I mean, what's he saying? 75 million plus clauses or 75 million including clauses? Because what you said there implies that it's including clauses.
Oh, this does say including, yeah, but in my mind I had plus.
Yeah, so
75
so you
including
walk away
clauses,
immediately.
that's
There's no
terrible.
conversation to have for 75 million including add-ons.
That's ridiculous.
No conversation. I'd keep him. Screw them.
I think
Honestly.
I know it does say including, but I do think when it comes down to it, it's got to be in addition. It doesn't make sense for it.
Yeah,
not
but
to
they're
be
really
in
going to
addition.
add 25 million on top with add-ons. Maybe they will, but if one of them's winning the Champions League, depends how much that one is for, I guess. I don't know. I don't see it being if you're gonna. I don't know. I don't see 75 million plus 25 million add-ons. That's a big add-on. You've seen the Rice
Many
deal.
add-ons though. It's not just one add-on, is it?
Yeah, true, but it's still like you saw the Rice deal was 100 million only plus 5 million add-ons. You know what I mean? That's like the add-ons isn't going to be the biggest part of it. I guess 25 million is still a quarter of the deal. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be 75. That won't make it to 100 in my opinion. It's going to have to be 85 plus add-ons to get to that thing, in my opinion, as a base rate. If that's their opening offer, I think Levy laughs him out the room and probably leaves immediately. Honestly, I don't think he even entertains that.
Opening offer. It's just like the third or fourth offer coming in.
Exactly. It's ridiculous if that's all they're saying. Hopefully, I don't know. It doesn't sound right to me. Why would they offer that?
I don't think this is. I don't think this report is reliable, to be honest, because it just doesn't make sense. In my opinion, it has to get close to £100 million, including everything, including add-ons. So you're looking at probably, I would accept 75 million base rate plus like 10, 15 millions in add-ons. I would accept that.
I wouldn't. I would reject that. I don't think that's enough. And I don't think that you're getting compensated enough for losing someone like Kane. And I just, honestly, I'm starting to really turn off the idea of selling him at all, just because, unless we get a lot of big fee, just because I don't trust this board, man. I don't trust this board to spend the money wisely. I'd rather have Kane for another year. If you're telling me if we don't sell Kane, we're not going to sign a centre-back, then that's more reason that, yeah, you could say, okay, fine, we should take the money, but I don't think that's acceptable to say that, in my opinion.
It's not acceptable. It's not.
So I don't believe if we keep Kane, we're not going to sign a centre back. I don't really believe that. So I know, even though it hasn't happened yet. So I would keep him, and it gives us more chance of getting in the Champions League. We get Kane for another year. I just don't see. Yeah, okay, you could have got the 75 million plus add-ons, and you can reinvest that money. But how much is that? What does that really get you in this market? You're going to have to spend the bulk of that replacing him anyway. Like, I don't know. It doesn't, unless we're getting a really good fee. Like, I'll just keep him. Honestly, I think it makes more sense to me to have Kane for another year.
I mean, it means that we can spend that money, and it means that when it comes to the transfer window next year and we do lose Harry Kane, all the excuses are going to come out. Oh, we lost Harry Kane for free. We have to skimp out once again. No Champions League football. No money in for Harry Kane. Where's all the money?
We might have Champions League football though with Kane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man.
You have to finish top 5. It's not that. I mean, it's still going to be tough, but it's not completely beyond the realms of possibility. We do that with Harry Kane.
I genuinely believe, like, if we can get our defense sorted, I believe that we can get that with or without Harry Kane. I really believe that.
I don't know if we can get it without him unless we replace him with a striker. And then if we replace him with a striker, we're just spending the bulk of the money on replacing him. Then I don't know. Then are we still going to get the centre back? I don't know. It's a complicated situation. I would rather, unless we're getting a really good fee over 100 million or over that, I wouldn't sell him. I would just keep him because I think it's probably worth more to have him than not.
Just fed up of this story. It was causing just more nonsense and more nonsense every day. I mean, just either sign the contract or go.
He ain't going to sign the contract. There's no. Why would he? We can't expect him to. We can't expect him to sign the contract.
So we need to agree a deal to sell him then.
But he's not. But what I'm saying is we can't expect him to sign it this summer. Doesn't mean the next summer he won't. We don't know that. He's probably still unlikely, but if we can keep him, at least it keeps the possibility open that maybe he would love playing under Postecoglou and we get Champions League football and maybe, you know, he really believes things are turning around and we can win something here. Then there's a conversation to be had, but that's obviously a big risk. If it goes wrong, then he's not going to sign, but then we've had a bad season anyway, you know what I mean?
And just already getting fed up with all these Harry Kane questions. This ain't going to stop all season, rumbling on till next summer. It's just so frustrating to hear this time and time again. This isn't even anything new. This has been happening for the last 2 years as well, and it just clouds every manager's press conference as well. It's just like, and if Kane really does want to go to Bayern Munich, and we have a situation like we did last time when he wanted to go to Man City and you know, he just didn't perform for those first 6 months. If that happens again, then we're going to be sitting there being like, oh, we should have just taken the money, man.
Correct, but I don't think that's the same situation.
It might not be the same situation. I don't think Kane down tools on purpose last time. I all thought it was a whole, you know, something just happens unintentionally and it happens in your head.
No, we had Nuno. That was the main reason. We had Nuno. It wasn't just Kane. The whole team were terrible. Everyone was bad. It wasn't just him, but everyone focuses on him because he was the one looking to go to City. We couldn't create a chance. We went 3 games without a shot. It wasn't just Kane; it was the whole system. And then as soon as we got Conte, and he had a manager he can believe in, it changed. It wasn't just, you know, it wasn't just in a vacuum. It changed because of the manager. I think Postecoglou has him on side at the moment. I do think with the chances we'll create under the system, he'll score and he'll be fine. I don't think that's an issue. The issue will be in a year's time. That'll be the issue.
Yeah, I get that, what you're saying about Nuno and the system and everything, and everyone was terrible. But at the back end of last season, when everyone was terrible and the system wasn't working and the players didn't want to play for Conte, Kane was still performing and scoring. Like, he was brilliant last season, even when everyone else was terrible. So I don't know, man. I just feel like if he does desperately want to go to Bayern Munich, then it is a possibility that something like that can happen next season.
But, yeah, for sure. I think, look, if he wants to go, I'm happy for him to go if we can get a big deal. But I don't think he's that desperate that he's going to start. Look, I think he's calm. I think he knows he's got a year left on his deal and he can leave on a free, so he doesn't have to leave this summer. He probably thinks he's doing us a favour if he leaves this summer, if anything. So I think it's just on us to get. I don't think he's going to be kicking up a fuss. I think he's probably happy to stay for a year and then see what happens in a year's time. But if we can strike a deal, then he's happy to leave. But it's on us to get as much deal. I don't think we should be accepting 75 million plus add-ons. I think that's a nonsense offer.
I just feel like we're just delaying the inevitable at the moment. And we're going to have to start planning for life without Harry Kane at some point. Mm-hmm. May as well do it now when we get money in, as opposed
to now when we 2 weeks before the season. You know what I mean? It's stupid.
I know, but we always knew it was going to come to this.
So plan for it when you know it's coming.
Yeah, when we're getting no money in for it and they got excuses.
Whatever. It's not my money. It's not my money. They'll spend it. They'll have to spend.
Do you know who you're dealing with here?
They'll spend it. If Kane leaves on a free, they're not going to spend money. They'll have to.
Do you know who you're dealing with here?
I know who I'm dealing with.
Daniel Levy.
We spent 60 million on Richarlison last year, didn't we?
Yeah, and that's our replacement.
Huh?
That's our replacement.
Okay, and you're happy with that, aren't you?
I mean, I'm not delighted with it, but I'll take it if it means getting a top centre backs in. That's the only way I'm taking it. I mean, if we're going to skimp out on centre backs and maybe not reinforcing other areas as well, then no, of course I'm not happy with it. But I think Richarlison can do a really good job there, and he hasn't shown us his potential as of yet. But I think leading the line as a number 9, pressing forward, which in Ange's system can be a bit of a sacrificial lamb, I think Richarlison's perfect for that role. We want him
anyway, regardless of us getting 100 million for Kane or not, we can spend money, is my point. We're not relying on that. We're not relying on that. We do spend.
We do.
Huh?
We do, but not in the right areas. We always
but we'll have to. We'll have to spend. Like, even whether we get the money for Kane or not, we're going to have to spend the money. It's just going to look, if we can get the Champions League money, it'll make up for it. If we don't, it won't. That's what you're banking on.
If we sell Kane now, we probably try and find a replacement on the wing or up front, whichever it may be, for a good 60, 70, 80 million. If we let him go for free next summer, it's going to be 60 and below, in my opinion.
I'm happy to take that chance.
All right. Well, let us know your thoughts on the Harry Kane situation. Last but not least, let's talk about a potential takeover at Spurs as hip hop
Hello.
legend Jay-Z is preparing to front a bid to buy Tottenham Hotspur if Joe Lewis is convicted of alleged insider trading, according to a close business associate. Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, has a net worth of $2.5 billion, and would look to potentially move forward with the backing of other investors. It is believed that Levy values Spurs of upwards of £3.5 billion, with sources convinced that the 61-year-old would want to retain his position at least in the short term as part of any takeover. The business associate of Jay-Z told the Express US more than a few of the very top clubs there, like Manchester United, Liverpool, and Chelsea, are now under US ownership, and Jay would jump at the chance of controlling interest at board level somewhere with the global reach of Spurs. It remains to be seen whether Mr. Lewis would walk away free if he doesn't. Jay has said he wants to be in a position to move quickly if he feels the price is right. His associate added, when it was mentioned of an estimated market value of $2.8 billion for the North London outfit. Yeah, right. He believes this is achievable, especially with the backing of fellow investors. I mean, if he thinks that he can get Spurs for £2 billion, then, I mean, you got to add at least $1 billion onto that, at least.
Well, they were talking a year ago when there were some investors circling around. They were saying 3 billion. Now this summer they're saying 5 billion because United were priced at 5 billion. They want to price them similar to that. So I don't think 2.8 is going to be a price point Spurs are going to have any
Chelsea
movement.
went for 2.5, right?
Chelsea went for 2.5, but we're more of a money-making machine than Chelsea in a weird way. We actually get a lot more revenue than them, the stadium, all that kind of stuff. So we're actually probably valued at more than Chelsea right now, even though Chelsea, and also Chelsea had to sell. You got to remember that as well. They were forced to sell. We're not in that position. So I don't think 2.8 is a situation. Doesn't Jay-Z have enough problems? Got 99 problems.
He's got 99 problems. Tottenham Hotspur would be 100.
More than 100, I guarantee you that. I mean, you got Tottenham. I don't know. I just think Jay-Z basically probably saw the Beyonce concert. And he was like, "Look, I need a bit of this." He was like, "I want this." He's like, "This is the shit." That's probably what he's thinking. I was probably just like spur at the moment. Let's go buy this shit. Like, let's do it. I don't think it's probably going to happen.
Definitely not going to happen. Never, no chance this is happening. But it would be a bit of fun. Although I do believe Jay-Z is a proclaimed Arsenal fan as well, so I'm not sure about that one.
Oh, so he's going to be a sleeper agent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's going to take us over, then kill us.
Hashtag no to Jay-Z.
Wouldn't mind a free Jay-Z concert at the stadium, though. I'll be there.
Free. Yeah, right.
Yeah, why not?
It's good. Did you not read the sentence that I wrote that Daniel Levy will still want to be in his position? You think that's going to be free?
Forget that. If Daniel Levy's still involved, what's changing? Forget that.
Yeah. But look, that is your Tottenham update today. We wait with anticipation to see what happens tomorrow. I do imagine that there'll be a lot of Harry Kane news coming out tomorrow after that meeting with Daniel Levy and the Bayern Munich hierarchy. But we'll see what happens. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, Spurs.